Hi, I'm Field Agronomist Jay Zielske, and today I'd like to talk about late June and early July herbicide applications in soybeans for tall water hemp control. Over the past few days, I've received numerous calls from farmers who made applications of dicamba ahead of that June 20th Minnesota dicamba application deadline. Some of them with the addition of a Group 15 herbicide, some without. And their question for me is whether or not they need to be planning on making yet an additional application. And of course, I can't answer that because I don't know how heavy the weed pressure is in your particular field. But here's my number one rule of thumb, and that's to begin scouting those fields 14 days after that herbicide application. Scouting for a second flush of tall water hemp, lamb's quarters, black nightshade, or any other broadleaves or grass escapes. If you happen to see significant tall water hemp pressure, my number one recommendation is to lead off with a post-emerge application of FoamSofin herbicide, the active ingredient in FlexStar, say at that 12 or 16 ounce rate, depending on how heavy the water hemp pressure and how tall those weeds are. The addition of a Group 15 herbicide, such as EverPreX, will extend the residual activity through to the end of July, which I think is a very important thing this year, considering in many cases we had a delay in soybean planting and not particularly warm and aggressive early season growth on those soybeans. They're likely to take some time before they close that canopy, and having that Group 15 product out there to extend residual clear through the end of July, I think is going to come in very handy this year. And if there are any additional broadleaves or grass escapes, then I recommend the addition of glyphosate. Now, we look at FoamSofin applications. It is important to know that there is some risk of carryover. What I've seen in recent years is typically on our lower organic matter soils or across the clay knolls, it's not at all unusual to see that FoamSofin crop response. Although rarely does it have a serious impact on corn yield, it's not at all difficult to find those carryover symptoms. Now, the manufacturer recommends a 10-month recrop interval to corn following FoamSofin applications. So as we get into early July, we're going to be bumping right up against that. And if you have those concerns, then my next recommendation is that in place of the FoamSofin, to add lactofen, which is the active ingredient in the herbicide Cobra, and then in a similar fashion, your Group 15 herbicide and the glyphosate. Now, anytime we look at the addition of the PPO inhibitor herbicides post-emerge, it's not at all unusual to see some crop response on the part of the soybean plants. And my number one recommendation to growers in those situations, hook up the boat and plan to go fishing for a few days. It seems to solve a lot of problems when you get back. Thank you very much, and good luck scouting.
That concludes this Pioneer Growing Point Agronomy video podcast. Visit our page on pioneer.com and follow us on Twitter and Facebook for more agronomy insights.